Let's get scratching.
We got an explosive broadcast coming to you. Listen up. Sega games, just keep playing them. Sega!
We're back. It's the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show. Get ready for Sega interviews and news with George and Barry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Yu Suzuki. Let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to episode number 81 of the SEGAbits Swingin Report Show. In this very special episode, I, Barry, and my co-host George. Hello, George.
Hello, everyone.
We will be covering the last hour of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. So as you hear this is pre-recorded. However, this will be our live reaction. Because, that's what, you watch YouTube now. It's all about reactions. So, so maybe in 1 hour we'll be screaming or something, making faces that you can't see. Yeah. So it's exciting. It's been 1 month. We did a show before talking about the start of the Kickstarter. A lot of things have happened. But before we get into Shenmue, we do want to talk about one thing. It's pretty big. The Sega Games co-president saying that the company, let down fan expectations with some software released in the past 10 years, and that they have learned from Atlas and that they want to make quality software again. And George, can you tell me a little bit more about this and our listeners?
There's a couple of things that we need to know about this. First of all, I think it's been mistranslated a lot. People think that it's the CEO of Sega, but it was really his son, who has the same last name as him, Satomi, I think it's how you pronounce it. Mm-hmm. And basically, he barely got hired as Sega Games president before he was doing all the mobile games. And when he started working on mobile games, you could really tell that he put more budget and effort. And that's how a lot of the big Sega games, I guess, that got popular right now came about, is because of his leadership. So now he's doing all the Sega games, and he got promoted on April 1st on the restructure. So he did an interview with Famitsu, and he talked about how they're learning from Atlas, like you said. He also talked about how the PS4 is a leading platform online worldwide, and he talked about how Japanese games, he believes that Japanese games could do well in the West if they have the right quality to them, and says he wants the company Sega to be known as a quality company from now on. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Bring back this. Well, they need to bring back the gold seal of quality then, if they really want to be a quality company.
Oh, yes. And a lot of people assumed this meant that they're going to bring back old franchises, but that's not been confirmed. Mm-hmm. All we know is that there's going to be a new game announced at TGS. So that's it.
Well, what I think about it is that, it's great that they're saying this publicly. It's refreshing. However, really, it's all they need to follow up with it. They you can be all talk as a company president or CEO or co-president as he is. But really, it's all about what they do. But you made a good point. Their mobile game has definitely stepped up. Sonic Runners. There was also, what's that RPG that's really big?
Chain Chronicles.
Chain Chronicles. Yeah, I've played a bit of that. That's good. But I'd really love to see them focus on stepping up their game in console and in PC. So yeah, it's exciting. The one thing that annoyed me just as a fan is how many news sites pick this up, and they want to go the negative route. They always go, Sega apologizes for the past 10 years. I'm like, they're not apologizing for the past 10 years. That's pushing so many great games under the rug. They're apologizing for some of the bad games, which they definitely should be apologizing for. But
well, technically he never apologized, but he just said that there was just bad games, and I don't think people understand that he wasn't even working or had any say in these games.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to apologize.
Yeah, the exact quote was, "We did our best to build a relationship of mutual trust with older fans of Sega, but looking back, there have been some titles that have partially betrayed that trust in the past 10 years. So, I mean, you could point at a lot of things. You could point at some of the, I mean, him being Japanese, I don't know if he's referring to the Marvel deal that they made. He could be. I'm not
Sonic
sure.
06 is pretty easy to point out.
That's true, though we are coming up to the point where that won't be 10 years anymore. So, but
very close.
Yeah, very close. 9 years. Yeah, but you know, we'll see what happens from this. I feel positive about it, despite all of the, I guess, negative press. It wasn't negative press. It was just kind of like this revisionist history we always have, where we're like, oh man, Sega sure sucked in the past 10 years. I'm like, they're still around. Name companies from the past 10 years that have sucked and gone under, or just got worse. Look at Capcom.
Yeah, well, Capcom still releases some games that are, I guess, people like, but I agree. Like Capcom still, I think a lot of Japanese companies are a far cry from what they used to be.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, but I guess wait and see. Is there anything else you wanted to say about this story?
No, I think we can move on to Shenmue 3.
All right. Well, at the time of this recording, it is 3 minutes past the hour. The Kickstarter will be ending 51 minutes past the hour, so we have 48 minutes to go. So at this moment, we are closing in very quickly on 6,250,000 with 68,521 backers. So did you ever think it would make it this far?
I think I made my estimate in the last podcast, but seeing like that was really early. When the last couple of weeks, I was surprised it would like barely made it to 6 million. So it's about right so far.
Yeah.
So
what tier have you funded, by the way?
$100.
Okay. Yeah, I did as well. I was, you
want to tell them why
I did that? Well, I just think that it's the, $100 is still, it's quite a bit of money, but I felt like it was the most affordable, where I still felt like I was giving some and then some, and I was getting some decent rewards. I mean, like I said in the past Shenmue episode, I really wish that there were more physical rewards at that level. I was looking at the, what's the game? Bloodstained? Am I calling it?
Blood Ritual or something? I don't remember.
Blood Game. And at $100, they have so many cool things. But at $100 for this, it's the physical game. It's the digital trial and your name in the credits, and a digital phone call to characters from the past games, which is fun fan service. But, man, I really wish I got that art book. I wish I got a physical CD soundtrack. I don't know. But it's what I can afford right now. And I'm really hoping that they open a Kickstarter, or not a Kickstarter, a store with PayPal support, because I would gladly, in another 6 months, throw another $100 at them for some goodies.
I agree. But the reason I didn't do it is because I just don't like spending money on stuff that I don't know what it's going to look like. Like, even then I was almost like hesitant on doing a physical copy, because they didn't show me the like actual renders of what it's going to look like each version. So I'm still on the fence if I should get the PS4 version or the PC version, because I do not like the way the box picture of the PS4 version looks like. It's like blue. Yeah. It's just kind of strange.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would do the capsule toy if I knew what it looked like, the actual 3D render.
Yeah, we have compared this and the Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove Kickstarter, and I would say Toe Jam and Earl did almost everything right. They were upfront with everything. I especially loved that during the campaign they were showing what the statues would look like, and they looked awesome. I mean, I'm not getting them. I couldn't afford them, but they looked great. These things, though, I don't know what they're going to look like. They might look like cheap, Chinese plastic toys, which is what they're supposed to be, Yeah. So they're
charging you $20 for it, though.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And the art book, I would love to have that, but I don't know what it will contain. I don't know how big it'll be. The picture they show, it seems kind of small. It looks like a children's book.
Yeah, and the artwork he's been showing, it's not really that he's been showing off on Twitter is a lot of sketches, which I don't mind, but I need to know what kind of artwork is going to be in there too, like you said.
Yeah, and concerning those sketches, a lot of them are old. At least the ones that they're showing on the Kickstarter page. The one of Londi, the one of what is it, Nio Sun, the one of Shenhua. They're all old drawings. They haven't shown. I love that old Shenmue art, but they haven't really shown any new Shenmue 3 art that really makes me want to jump at an art book.
I agree, and I think that's mostly because they haven't started development, I guess, on the title yet. And I think it's like you could tell that they had nothing done before the Kickstarter started, and they just announced it. And I think it kind of hurt. It hurt its funding, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't see any new original art here. Maybe there is some. I'm seeing a lot of stuff from Shenmue Online, which is kind of funny. Especially when they're talking about on the Kickstarter page where we left off Ryo Hazuki. And you can totally see these look like Shenmue Online pictures. So, but you had some discussion topics here then. So let's get into those.
Most of it is announcements that they've been made after our other podcasts.
Okay. Well, let's go through some of these and share our thoughts. So the PlayStation 4 physical copy tier was announced. We haven't said what. So what version will you be getting, PC or PS4?
I'm thinking about PS4 just because, I played it on a console. I mean, not a Sony console, but it's a console version anyway. And I think it'll be more, I guess, sought after if I ever sell it. So that's why I'm going with that. And I'm probably just going to buy the digital on PC when it comes out. That's
a good idea. Yeah, I'm going to do the same. It's so far out. I know there were Xbox owners complaining. They said, I don't own a PS4. I'm like, you have till December 2017. I don't own a PS4, but I will by then. So I'm going to go for the PS4 version as well. It just feels better to have it on a home console rather than a computer. Shenmue has always been though I will say that if you get it on the PC and you play it with the controller, it'll be the Xbox control layout, I'd assume.
Yeah, because you could use a 360 controller.
Exactly.
Plug and play.
Sort of like with Valkyria Chronicles. It felt like you were playing an Xbox version sometimes.
Yeah.
But, so I think that's what I'm going to be going for. Another interesting tier let's talk. I actually want to talk about this. What did you think about them adding tiers as the campaign went along? It seems they really went crazy with it.
I think they should have, they did go crazy with it, which I don't mind. I just wish they weren't so high priced. It was like everything was like $2,000 and up, and it's like, oh yeah, we can't even afford a $200 version, and you're adding way more. Like, I think they should have worked on taking like $10 from each person by giving like something. I don't know. Yeah,
just looking through here, there was a 39 tier added for Kickstarter exclusive Shenmue 3 wallpapers, as though those won't be hard to find. Like seriously, you'll be like, hey bro, do you have those wallpapers? Yeah, let me upload them to IMG
Google Drive.
Google Drive. The other addition was the Shenmue 3 World Telecom, which is a really cool piece of fan service. But again, it's digital. But yeah, a lot of the additional tiers were much. I'm scrolling through here. $1,000 Rio voice message by Corey Marshall. And speaking of Corey Marshall, that was another addition. Corey Marshall was 100% confirmed coming back as the English voice for Rio. But they have not said anyone from the old cast being rehired. Including
they haven't hired anybody.
For Shenhua. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. So, Yu Suzuki apparently hasn't even confirmed that the whole game is going to be dubbed in English. So, don't really know how that's going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that they're just not going to have a large cast. It might just be Rio, Shenhua, and like 30 people broken up and voiced by different actors.
Yeah, or it could just be that they leave the other people talking Japanese and then they just have Reed talk English. That'd be weird.
And let's be frank about that too. What do you think about Corey Marshall? I know we haven't had him on as a guest yet. I'm not one to burn bridges or anything, but let's be real.
I think, and it might not even been his fault. I think there was aspects. Sometimes there's parts of his performance where I was like, that's pretty good. I think he has a unique tone to his voice that kind of, I guess, works for the character. I can see why people would like him. It just felt like, I don't know if he's not a good actor, or if Sega just didn't give him enough takes to nail it. But what I've heard from who was it that we interviewed from
Lisa
the Shenmue voice acting, that they just did everything in one take.
They would run through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be open-minded and see how he does it, but he didn't blow me away in the last two games that much. But I'm willing to give him a chance.
Mm-hmm. I think his voice really carries a lot of nostalgia, if anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, I know people love to make the sailor jokes and everything, but honestly, it gets really fucking old. It's like if you were a Star Wars fan, you get sick of the "it's a trap." It's a trap. Like, oh yeah, it's a trap. That's great. Yeah,
and that's also something we should mention, is that like the dialogue that he was given wasn't the best dialogue either.
No.
So,
and it's interesting. You take that English release of Shenmue, and it really does make the game. I feel it takes away somewhat from the game's tone. It makes it more of a kind of like House of the Dead kind of funny sort of voice acting, where you just like. And I remember reviews too. They were saying, "Oh man, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. We would have given this 10 out of 10 if the voice acting was better."
Yeah, and it's I know it's early on when video games started with the voice actors, but like Metal Gear Solid had there's some voices that they were off, but for like as a package, it was pretty good voice acting, and the lines were all right, I guess. I mean, they were cheesy, but not as cheesy as Shenmue was.
Yeah, and I felt too that with Shenmue, you kind of start at the top, and the main voice actors, they're not bad. I really liked Lisa Wilkerson. Corey Marshall, he had his moments. I think he does anger really well, though I don't think in more of the emotional scenes he did that well of a job. But you get lower, and you start getting to Goro, and you start getting to Tom, and you start getting to like the random drunk guy. And it's just like the audio quality too was kind of bad, wasn't it? It felt muffled sometimes. It sounded.
I heard rumors that they got college people to come in and do voices for NPC characters. So, that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, there was that article too on Shenmue Dojo with a voice actor, and they came in and they would say, "Do an old man," and the guy said, "I don't do an old man voice," and they said, "Well, just do one anyway." And be like, "Oh, what? What do you want? No sailors." And they'd be like, "This sounds awful," and they're like, "No, that's good."
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So yeah, the voice acting is going to be interesting. And I guess just to stay on that subject, we also had a lot of tiers for languages. We had, oddly enough, Portuguese came much later. I guess that's a little more expensive to translate or something.
What's your thoughts on that? You think we should be funding other subtitles that we're not going to be really playing as?
I don't think they should have made those tiers public. I think they should have just assumed, well, it's going to be English and Japanese, and later on announce what other languages. I just feel like, you look at the tiers, and they start off Shenmue 1 and 2 cinema shorts. Well, that's not too exciting. You can watch playthroughs on YouTube, and then it's German, and then it's French, and then it's Spanish, and then it's Italian. It wasn't until 1.2 million later, after the main goal, that you got to the rapport system. And even then, they didn't do a good job explaining what those things were. It sounds cool, but what were they? And you really have to dig to find answers. Yu Suzuki might be doing a Reddit Q&A or something, and he might mention it. But they were never like, hey guys, we just hit the goal on the Rapport system, or we're coming up on it. The Rapport system, this is how it works, and let's go into it. Or the skill tree system. They're very cagey about these things.
Yeah, and then they'll like answer on Twitter, and then you have to look for the answer on Twitter. It's too much of a mess. They should have had like a YouTube channel where he would explain every single one and then upload it onto the updates as a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Another bit here, we have that there has been confusion as to how many chapters the Shenmue saga was supposed to be, and Yu Suzuki has confirmed 11 chapters is the main story, but it can branch out to more than 11. So what are your thoughts on this?
That's fine. I mean, I'd rather him not branch it out and just finish it at 3, but if he feels like he has to extend it, I mean, I just hope he doesn't get cocky with the funding he got from this.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with him extending it as long as it's I don't know, maybe DLC. I don't know. What do you think?
I really wish he would end it at 3. I'll be honest. I know people are like, oh, awesome, there was a 4th Shenmue announced. Guys, we haven't even made 3, and it's taken so long. I think he needs to make some concessions and just cut down a little bit. I know he has the story he really wants to tell, but man, it's gonna be hell if we get through 3 and then 4 takes forever. It doesn't happen.
I agree.
I know I compare things to Star Wars a lot, but that was something where when George Lucas was making the first movie, he had a plan for between 6 and 12 films, but he thought, you know what, I'm gonna condense the story and have the Death Star blow up at the end of this first movie. And if that's that, that's that. And it wasn't until he really got the ball rolling and realized that it was going to be a success that they made 2 and 3. And that's why there was a second Death Star, But, with Yu Suzuki, it's like he made the first 2 films or games. They basically felt like films. And he didn't, I feel like he didn't learn the lesson. He didn't think, all right, well, I had the privilege to make two great games. Now I'm getting the chance to make a third one. Let's satisfy the fans and end it. It's just, I don't know if I'm ready to like back a 4th Shenmue or at least go crazy again.
You think there'll be another Kickstarter?
I think so.
I think there's a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth when there's like another Kickstarter after another one,
I mean, look at the backers. Right now we're at 68,750. Now I know that's not an accurate gauge for the number of copies sold, but people have had a whole month to put their money where their mouth is and say, you know what? Yes, I want a copy of Shenmue. Close to 70,000. That's not a lot in today's gaming world. 70,000 copies.
Especially when you consider that for Sega, that would be only the sticker price sale. It won't be $100, $10,000.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see when it comes out. I mean, people could just be waiting for a retail copy, and then when it comes out, it's a great game and it sells 10 million copies. We don't know.
And I think that's the exciting thing. All this stuff I'm saying right now, I might sound a little down on it, but it's just my feelings at the moment. Give me a few months. I might be all for a Shenmue 4. I might play the next game and be like, God, this is amazing. And then the PlayStation 5's coming out and they announce Sony's like, oh, we have Shenmue 4 as an exclusive.
And Goro is the only playable character.
It's Goro's side story with his all child baseball team.
Dude, a baseball simulator? That'd be awesome.
So good.
I'd play that.
So at more than 6 million pledged, Shenmue 3 is the most successful video game Kickstarter of all time. And Yu Suzuki has said with 5 million, the game's open world will be similar to Dobuita in terms of scale. So what do we think about this? Why don't you start?
Yeah, I think that's decent considering everything. It's like I would have been happy if we got 3 back in like 2004, and it had like Dreamcast graphics. I would accept that, dude. I would have been smitten by that. I would have been happy. But I guess having brand new HD graphics and having the same size as what Shenmue 2, that's fine. I don't think we don't need a overcomplicated huge world like Grand Theft Auto. Like, I'm kind of a little tired of these really big open worlds where like it takes me longer to get to one side of the map to actually do the mission than it does to actually do the mission.
Right.
So
and you had said Shenmue 2, but I think you meant the same size as Shenmue 1, right?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Shenmue 1,
Yeah.
sorry, I forgot.
I honestly, I like Shenmue 1 more than 2. I mean, 2 has, I think, more improvements to the gameplay, and it has some really great set pieces, but 1 is just like, it's such a fun area to explore. So if they can recreate that, I'd be happy.
It's very dense. Like, it feels like everything has like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah. And, you know,
It's hard to explain.
Shenmue 2 was bigger, but I went back and played it again. You know, you get off the boat, you walk for a bit. There's a pier. There's not too much going on. There's some arm wrestling. You walk a bit more. There's a hostel. You walk a bit more. There's like a big, long, like street, but there's a few shops, but none of them are really interesting. You take all that space and compare it to Dobuita. There would be a shop every, 10 feet. There would be about 5 different characters around you at any time who have just really strange, interesting backstories. Not to say that.
And then
yeah.
There's there's a kung fu master at the park. There's that guy that sells jackets. There's the doctor that always stands in front of a store.
Yeah.
And it has like everything has more character to it because it's smaller and better, I guess, made.
Yeah.
More attention to detail, technically. I mean, would be the phrase.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So that's not a negative, I don't think.
No, I don't think so at all. So let's see. This other bit, Yu Suzuki said that they're making a system for the trial version to submit feedback to help shape the game. So do you think fans should be truthful when it comes to issues within the game like pacing, glitches, and other technical things?
This is kind of a hard one to talk about because it's like a lot of people were very critical on the first Shenmue when it came out on its pacing and a lot of its dialogue and they didn't really improve on it because I guess they did improve it on 2. Do you think they should take fan feedback seriously or should they just make the game they want? That's basically what I'm asking.
I think to a point they should. I think Shenmue 1 and 2, it has a lot of detractors even to this day. I know I was complaining to you in private about people who on the Destructoid article were saying, meh, I've played Shenmue. It's not really my thing. It's like, you know what? Then get the fuck out. I always felt that the Shenmue games were akin to like a Miyazaki film where, it's not moving at the pace you would typically expect a video game or a film in Miyazaki's sense to move at. But, you just need to slow down and really find the beauty in some things or the catching leaves in slow motion. I find that far more exciting than playing Grand Theft Auto and saying, oh, hey, man, you got to go rob that store. It's an escort mission, man. You got to take me there, I don't
exactly. That's pretty good.
You like that voice?
Yeah, I like that voice.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that for the rest of the show. But I don't want to shit talk people on the internet, but people like doing that. So everyone has an opinion, but I think in terms of looking at the first 2 Shenmues, there are problems. But I think when it comes to just, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I guess the game as a whole, it is a great game. And if you don't think so, then I don't know what your problem is.
There's a little bit of things that Yu Suzuki did in the first game, at least. I don't remember if the Xbox version of 2 did this. Like, when you go and play it back, you're like, wait, I can't use the joystick to look around. I have to use the D-pad to walk. I mean, the D-pad looks around. Yeah, that thing. I mean, do you think that he should make that normal? Oh, God. For the digital version?
Yeah. I think for sure the movements need to be updated. I think Shenmue 2, actually, they had a first-person view inside of buildings. I thought that was really cool. So I think they need to bring that back. Honestly, I think it might be kind of fun with Project Morpheus or with Oculus Rift to actually have a thing where when you go into a building, you can put the headset on and like walk around freely and look at things. That would be kind of cool.
One thing the reason I want to get the PC version is because I know it's going to be modified, and I want to play it through with like Shenmue 1 textures,
Oh
like
yeah,
from 1 and 2. I think that'd be pretty fun.
that would be cool.
So, as for the pacing and all that and giving feedback, I mean, I'm gonna give honest feedback. What I think, like, there's something like some Japanese developers have this weird like tendency of like doing little things like menu system really strange. Like they need a be told like, okay, this is not that good. At least we get to give them feedback though. It's a good thing. It would improve the game hopefully.
For sure. And I mean, I don't think by that point we'll be making comments that's going to affect the story or anything like that, really. People aren't going to be playing and they're like, yeah, I think Rio should really just like get his revenge right now, and he'd be like, oh, you're right. And then Londi just like walks on and he kills him and the game ends.
He's just like wandering in the wilderness.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Both Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2, they did have endings, alternate endings, bad endings. How do you think,
Yes.
We don't know too much about Shenmue 3, but what would your ideal alternate bad ending be for Shenmue 3?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, I mean, isn't it always Landy coming out of nowhere and killing him?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would want it, but like, I don't know. Like, has there even been like, is there going to be like a day-night system in this game?
That's a good question. I feel like they've mentioned it before. I think there will be. I think there has to be.
I mean, like, that's a big aspect of the game, like waiting day and night and the cycle of day and night. So I'm hoping that they don't cut it out.
Oh, for sure. I think we're going to get things like that. It's not as though there was a tier saying, you get up to 7 million and we might have day and night. Get up to 8 million and we might have Rio have a walking animation. I think there's some things that are just expected and they will happen, like day and night system. I don't know about magic weather. That might be different.
We'll have to see when they announce stuff like that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And just an update on the Kickstarter. We're 22 minutes to go. We're at 6,291,000. Still at closing in on 69,000 backers. So we're in close range of 6,300,000.
I'm hoping for the 6.5 thousand.
Yeah, you want your ragdoll physics or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, I want to hit at least the next closest tier goal, because I mean we already wasted on Portuguese subtitles.
Yeah, right. And I know we have some Portuguese members in our forums.
And that's fine, but like they should back it up for themselves. I mean, like I think they should have asked for PayPal for that stuff. You know what I mean?
For
but
sure.
Whatever.
Yeah. This next topic here, this is something that's been recently said, that it's been confirmed that the first gameplay footage of the final version won't be seen until at least 2017. Do you think that's too long away?
I do. It's going to be well, I don't want to wait. I want it now. So yeah, of course it's a long wait, but it makes sense. 2-year development. I don't want them to rush it. So if it doesn't make it to 2017, it's whatever. But 2017 seems good. I mean, I guess for not having anything right now.
They have shown some things. We did get a floor plan of, it looked like a hostel, and that looked kind of fun. Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that, yeah.
There was a game room, and there was like a lounge to hang out in. So, that I feel like if they give us things like that, like concept art, like maps, even if they just showed us a map of one of the villages, that would be enough to hold me over. If it just the promise of what is to come,
or at least in-engine, like the engine shots of like forest and stuff like they're working on. Mm-hmm. If they're working on stuff and they keep on showing like they have at the rate they've been doing it right now, I'll be happy for the next 2 years. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be. They still haven't even got the final models down yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So, still a lot to come.
Yeah. Another thing that's been confirmed, part-time jobs will be in the full version of the game. And I wanted to ask you, are there any part-time jobs that you hated from the first two games that you think they should just scrap? And what would you like to see included in Shenmue 3?
Easily the freaking when you move boxes, terrible.
Yeah.
I hated
with
that.
your hands, right? Walking back and forth.
Yeah,
That's
because that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, hey, man, you're like, I don't even know what to say. China doesn't have forklifts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they should take that one off, and they should add forklifts. That's it. That's all you have to do.
I think the forklifts, what made them work so well is it made sense. You were taking these giant crates really far across the pier. But I remember in the box one, it was like a room that was like maybe 30 feet long. And they were like, we need these boxes put here, over there. It's like, well, why? Just leave them there. And then when you need them, walk over and carry them. It didn't make any sense. If you were loading up a truck, it would make sense.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know what kind of business is like, we really need these boxes moved over there. Let's pay this young man.
Yeah. We're closing in on 6,300,000. Someone actually pulled a $200 and then it shot back up again. So that was nice. Yeah, we just passed it, and we're coming up on 70,000 backers. So not too bad. 18 minutes to go, and we're 200,000 away from that 6.5. I feel like a lot of people are going to start backing it, knowing that
it's almost over.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping a millionaire comes in and just funds the rest of it for us, but we'll see.
Well, that's the funny thing is that there were those really high tiers, the $10,000 ones, and they sold out really fast. So I'm surprised that like Dinner with Yu Suzuki in Los Angeles, add 2 more. You could make another 20,000. Dinner with Yu Suzuki in Monaco, there's 1 left. And
nobody wants to. I mean, the Yu Suzuki's already eaten too much. You can't eat again.
Yeah.
So you can't add that. I was gonna say one of the guys that supposedly bought the dinner is the guy that does the art for Pokemon. That did the Sega 3D Classics front cover work.
Yeah, how funny is that? I think we mentioned that in the last show, and I was saying that's like if you were one of the members, one of the people going to that, that's like a double win. You get to have lunch with 2 game developers, 2 dinner. Do you think Yu Suzuki's gonna get really drunk?
Yeah, I think they get wasted as hell. I remember reading Yuji Naka back in the Dreamcast days when he said that Yuji Naka could drink Yu Suzuki under the table. So yeah, he drinks, obviously.
You mean Yu Suzuki could drink Yuji Naka under the table?
Yes. No, Yuji Naka said he could drink Yu Suzuki under the table, and I'm like, man, the Sonic guy. There you go.
That's funny.
You don't play around.
In regards to part-time jobs, that was actually something brought up too in that very early on in the campaign, they sent out surveys, and you were asked, what are your favorite part-time jobs? You were asked, what are your favorite characters? For the jobs, I know I picked Lucky Hit. That's always a good one. The Pachinko, I believe. And what was the other one I really like? I mean, obviously forklifts, but I did find it funny that for the characters one, Rio was an option, and he won. Because obviously he's the star of the game, and it's just I don't know what they were thinking, because when he won, they made this announcement saying Rio won our character poll, so now Rio will have an extra scene in the game just focused on him. I'm like, the whole goddamn series is about Rio. Like, what are you?
That's true.
Why are you doing that? Like, come on, guys.
They're doing this to make you angry, dude. It's obvious.
It should have been all the secondary characters, and it would have been funny if it was Tom, and then
Tom
Rio.
won.
It would have been funny if Tom won, and then Rio was like sitting in the woods, falling asleep, and then he has a dream about Tom, like eating hot dogs.
That'd be nice. We could finally see him eat a hot dog.
This is the proper way for Americans to eat hot dogs. I see.
I see. Always. I was gonna say. Did they say in the questionnaire that this character is going to have an extra scene and then list the characters?
I don't believe so. And that's the thing, because then when they came out and said who won, they were like, no, you get to see Rio in another scene. And the funny thing is, we're not going to know what scene that's going to be, because, we'll be like,
the whole game is fucking...
Is that
the whole game is...
I bet Yu Suzuki is like, they're like, oh, Yu Suzuki, what scene are we making for Rio? He's like, you have to do a fucking scene for Rio. They won't know.
All about him.
He's like, tell him the scene where he jumps across the river. That's about Rio.
I think Ren, or whatever his name is, would have been a cool extra scene.
Yeah. Oh well, what would have been? We could have had who was the guy in the suit in the first game that helped Rio?
The suit. You mean the president of Sega, the one from What's Shimmy? No. That guy? Like, you wanted him to win?
No.
It's like, what is he doing now?
No. The son of that guy who was helping Rio out in the first game, and then he got injured and he wasn't able to go to China.
Oh, I forgot his name. I don't know what you're talking about. He's the dude with the that hangs out in the warehouse with the old guy.
Yeah, but he said I'll meet up with you. And so I'm really hoping he appears in Shenmue 3 because I mean he's the only character who would make sense to return, really. Or
he could just pull like a twist, and he is helping Landy. It's all been a trap.
That'd be cool.
And they had to fight him.
Let's see. We have another bit here. According to, what do you call their company, by the way? YSNet? I guess that's how you'd say it, right?
I guess so, huh?
Or
it's kind of a weird name.
Yiznet?
Wisenets. It's like that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
They are not 100% sure that there will be a physical retail version of the game. So do you think that's something they should work on getting, or is digital for this type of game good enough and having only Kickstarter backers receiving the physical copies?
I mean, you as a Kickstarter backer probably think that it's probably pretty good to keep it rare, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to hurt this game because I have a feeling this is one of those games that, like, if you're a hardcore fan, you already funded. I mean, you already tried to get the Kickstarter going. So nowadays, getting shelf space in the store is harder than ever. I mean, sure, we have video game sections, but you have to put Nintendo stuff, Sony stuff, Xbox stuff, all these like video game toys.
Yeah,
it's getting harder and harder to find retail space. Like even Atlas doesn't get mainstream retail space. It's a hard thing to do, and they've been publishing for years, you know. So it depends who the publisher is, I guess. But like, I'd be okay with they just did digital. It's not like it's not going to be available.
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of weird though, because like how many people backed it for $60? Almost 5,000, 5,000 almost, you know. And it's 60 and. All right, go on.
No, I was saying it's about 20,000 at the $60 level, and then only another 2,000 for 80. I'm surprised the $100 one isn't more popular.
Me too. And look how many people paid for the PS4 version compared to the PC version. It's like more than double the amount, 3 times the amount. Yeah. And it's like a pretty smart thing to do and put that up.
Oh my God, yeah. That's a lot of money.
So they did a good job putting the PS4 version up at least.
What would you say is talking about that? Awesome Japan was the company running this campaign. What did you think?
You want me? Oh my God!
Be truthful.
All right, here we go. You just opened up the freaking box of snakes. Okay, no.
Box of snakes.
Honestly, I think they literally. I think this whole Kickstarter ran on the name alone. I think if it was like a no-name game, it wouldn't have gotten anything. I think Awesome Japan kind of dropped the ball a lot. I think the only thing they did right was announcing it at E3.
Yeah.
And besides that, they like their Twitch things have not been set up properly. They haven't actually went out and tried to get media to cover the game outside of the Sega fan base. They kind of been letting the Shenmue fan base take over.
I would argue that they haven't even gone outside of the Shenmue fan base. I mean, they've gone to some pretty great lengths to have people from Shenmue 500K and Shenmue Dojo, but they weren't like, oh, hey, let's talk to SEGAbits. I mean, not to just mention us, but like no general Sega news sites were really spoken to.
Exactly, and it also feels like I've submitted like I would say 20 questions to that Ask You or whatever you ask you Twitter answer, and all of our on the SEGAbits account and my personal account have been dismissed, and a lot of the same people have been been getting their questions answered, and some of them were good, so I'm not getting mad, but it just feels like whoever's picking them is creating like they have a objective, I guess, on there.
And I mean, not to compare web rankings, but I'm just looking here at the global rank of Shenmue Dojo. It's a fantastic site, but they're at 4 million. 4 million global rank.
I'm surprised,
you compare that to us, and we're at what were we at? Like 20,000?
Yeah, and it's not even, and it's like that's actually pretty low compared to like
200,000.
Yeah, and that's even low compared to all the other sites that would gladly do an interview with Yu Suzuki on their higher ranked site, like Kotaku or Destructoid.
Yeah,
I feel like they never really like reached out.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be mentioning us. I should really be mentioning IGN, Kotaku, Destructoid. But the mere fact that they went for these websites that get in the 4 million range, it's really a niche fan site. And then you take us, we're still a niche fan site, but we're getting some pretty decent traffic, the best traffic for a Sega fan site. They didn't even pay attention to us. They didn't even pay. I mean, if anything, you'd find Shenmue 3 articles on Destructoid and such that were bashing the campaign.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say bashing. I think they made an article about how it was not well managed, the Kickstarter, and I'm not going to disagree with them.
That was a good one. I think I'm thinking of the Kotaku one where the guy was just bitching about the cover art. He's like, I don't like this game and I'm not going to back it, but this cover art sucks. And it's like, all right, dude.
Yeah, to back him up, it wasn't the greatest cover art, obviously, but it's not what's going to ship. Like, I think that should have been I think he could have. Yeah, there you go. That's another thing to say about the Kickstarter. Like, their placeholder art was very misleading to some people, I guess, and hurt it.
I will say, as a graphic designer, looking at their page right now, they have this big image that says "Last Hours, keep those you love." It's done in papyrus font, which is typically used for like Mediterranean restaurants. And they put, I'm just looking at it, they put a glow, an outline, an inner shadow, a bevel and emboss.
This is why I never show you my Photoshop, because I already know everything, how everything was done. You're like, I know how this is done.
The Shenmue 3 logo they laid on top of it, which has like a brown drop shadow. It has a drop shadow and then a second drop shadow. And then the picture itself, they're reusing an asset from Shenmue 1. But it's just
it's a wallpaper.
It's like, come on, guys! Like, I want to see some Shenmue. But I guess that's why we have so much time after this is backed. I'm hoping we see some really cool original digital art for Shenmue 3, new stuff.
I also hope Yu Suzuki's more lenient to doing interviews about his past, present, and future. I guess
I'll be honest. I love Shenmue, but man, Yu Suzuki, he has a history that needs to be talked about. His arcade history alone is just amazing. I'd say it blows Nintendo developers out of the water, to be honest.
I think it depends on it definitely depends on like what, because like this guy is insane. Like, he made a light gun game that was super popular, made racing games. Any genre you threw at him, he just came out with a hit, like Virtua Fighter is considered like a pretty deep, complex fighter. And it's like, this is the same studio that made Space Harrier. This is the same studio that made Virtual Cop, Yeah. So it's a very interesting studio. 1 in a billion for sure. Oh, for sure.
And I don't mean to just say that Yu Suzuki did all of the great work of AM2. There were a lot of people there, especially, I'm not going to go through all of them, but 5 minutes to go on the Kickstarter. We are closing in on 70,000 backers. Doesn't look like we're going to make it to that 6.5 million. Right now we're at 333,000. So 4 minutes to go.
I'm I'm very surprised that it hasn't shot up way faster in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, me too. But then again, there aren't any of those big tiers left, really.
They should have added more. I mean, I can't really think of what he would have added. Maybe he should have just done like $5,000 and you get to have an hour Skype conversation or like 30-minute Skype conversation with Yu Suzuki and ask him whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's see if we can squeeze in one more talking point before we get to the countdown.
All right.
So let's see here. When Yu Suzuki was asked about what he had to cut from Shenmue 1 and 2 due to budget constraints, he said that he wanted the ramen noodles in the game to get soggy. They wanted the games to be that real. That's not
this
so much.
Is why,
that's just insane.
Yeah, that's a statement. Yeah. These are supposed to be just bonus topics, like in case we're, done. I guess we did finish it. But what do you think about that? Yu Suzuki wasting money on soggy noodles. Literally.
I really hope that he spent money on. I mean, they said they didn't due to budget constraints, but I would love it if he was like he dropped a couple thousand just to see if it was possible. But
yeah, I could already see him buying like $1,000 worth of ramen and just sitting there and soaking it and going, "Oh yeah, very soggy."
Yeah,
10 minutes, like timing it.
Oh yeah,
different brands.
He must have at least timed how long it takes for ramen to get soggy, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, he's a pretty crazy guy. You gotta admit.
Another bit. Rio got his Band-Aid from a cut that he received at a martial arts tournament, which he won. And another thing that actually Yu Suzuki mentioned about Shenmue 3 is that he's considering having either a cut scene or a moment where you can remove the Band-Aid, which would be pretty... I mean, it sounds stupid, but if you played the games, this is a part of the character. It's like an eye patch for him. It's something he always has. But if there was a scene where she's like, "Rio, yeah, what's that on your cheek?" "Oh." And he peels it off and he's like, "I guess it healed 3 years ago."
How long has it been from the first game? It doesn't really how long has it been from his father's death to the end of Shenmue 2?
That's a good question. That's something I'll have to find out. Maybe I'll find that out after this podcast.
I mean, the only way to find out is see the longest you could beat Shenmue 2, the date.
That's a good point.
The start.
Yeah, that's a good point because you do have. There is an X amount of time that you could play both games. So I guess it all depends on how fast you play. We'd have to ask some Shenmue experts. So
and that's another thing that they're gonna have to figure out when they make this game because Shenmue 1 and 2 and 3 they had planned was supposed to be a continuing story where you could beat the whole game fast and you could beat it and it only lasts a month.
Yeah.
Or you could beat it and it could last you 6 months.
Yeah. And
it's something we're not going to get when this new version releases because the cycle's been broken by 14 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to be something to think about too. If you how long is it? Are they still going to have a system like that where you keep track of days and all that stuff? It's going to be interesting.
It will. Just to
30 seconds go.
30 seconds left. We are close. I don't think we're going to hit 6.5 million. We might.
No,
I don't think we're going to hit 70,000 backers. I'm guessing it's going to be at 69, maybe 69,400, probably 6 million. Yeah, 6 million. Up 9, 8. We're at 6,332,000. 5, 4.
It's over.
3, 2.
$6,333. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and these things they always they melt a little too, don't they? Or they always change a little. I feel.
Maybe I'm not sure. And then they have to give how much percentage does Kickstarter take?
Oh man, a lot.
Like 10, I think.
Did they do a break?
I think they did do a breakup of the funding, but I'm trying to look for it. Oh, here it is.
I'm sorry, I'm typing the tweet right now. It's so unprofessional of me.
Go for it. Apparently they take about 8% to 10%, and then you have to give Steam 10% through the Steam store, and then 20% to Sony through the Sony store. But that seems to be all profit, I think. From the outside of funding. I think the Kickstarting copies are free. Free
So
of charge.
so the final count, 6,333,295. I really wish we got an extra $5 so it would say 6,333,300. That would look cool.
Yeah, that would have looked a lot better, but still pretty damn good. I'm happy I pledged $100. I can't wait to get it. I want to put it in my PS4 and play it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to say Dreamcast, but that's not going to happen. What do you think about those people that want a Dreamcast version of the game?
They're definitely dedicated. Good for them.
That's cute. They really don't want the game to sell.
Yeah, it's interesting. And there was a forum discussion about this too, how people were complaining about the latest trailer that went out of them looking at the bugs. But at the same time, people have also been saying that, before the Kickstarter even came about, they were saying, they really should have just done like a graphic novel or just release the game on PC. Nah.
or they could have shown, or they could have gotten like a really good professional person that makes trailers.
Oh yeah,
paid them to make a trailer for like just old cutscenes from the older games, but like in high definition, widescreen hacked, version of it, and like added some like shaders and stuff to make it look dynamic, and like just like showed the past and then show what they want to sell with it, and then they should have shown a little bit of what Shenmue could be,
like a proof, like a proof of concept or something.
Yeah, I think he should have had a couple of people already working on it and external funded, at least a proof of concept.
How many years has it been now that we can officially say that Shenmue 3 has been backed and is starting development?
14 years, isn't it? When did part 2 come out?
2001, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long fucking time, dude. I remember every single year people saying it's never gonna happen, and now it happened. I don't know what the fuck to say.
It's pretty fucking crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think of things that I can equate with, but really, Shenmue 3, it was something that I thought would never happen. It's about, I would say it's below a Dreamcast 2 or Sega making a new console.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, but I never thought we'd see a Shenmue 3. I'll be honest.
I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he would maybe give up on the idea and then just make a comic book or something himself and then like release it monthly. But I'm surprised it happened, and I'm kind of glad it happened. I mean, let's get this thing, let's end it. I think everybody wants to move on because I mean, Sega gets hounded every day about this.
Oh man.
So now they're gonna get hounded for the HD re-releases, and honestly, it would help this game a lot.
Oh, for sure. And I don't think Sega is in the business to help Shenmue 3.
But then again, this will also help them too, considering it's this new revival of the name.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the thing, is that they could really piggyback off of the hype.
And a lot of people think that's sleazy, but at the end of the day, really, they're the ones that spend like $40 million for the first two, and then another $20 million on Shenmue Online. Oh, God, they got canceled.
You know what? Talking about tiers, one of the tiers should have been that you get like a design document for Shenmue Online. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just say like, but you know what? I think I have a feeling that Sega wouldn't allow him to like reveal that kind of in-house stuff. So I could, because they're funding. Well, once they're funding, they own everything.
Yeah, I'd love to learn more about that, because I feel like there was a point too where people thought that Shenmue Online was actually released. They're like, yeah, it's in China, right? People are playing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of people actually that I talked to thought that too. One thing I'm going to say again is I think Yu Suzuki would be smart to team up with smaller U.S. companies like I remember those T-shirt companies that used to do like weird Sega designs. Like they would cross the movie and the game, and they would make a shirt for $10 or $15 or something, like T-Fury. Well, right now they're actually working with actual people that hold IPs like they do stuff with Kevin Smith, the guy that does Mallrats and Clerks.
Yeah.
And they'll do official shirts for them, and I think Yu Suzuki should do like a couple of shirt runs with them. Give them the license, they get a percentage, and they do everything, and all they do is get the profits of the name, and that funds the game more. They should do stuff like that, and then open up a store for that kind of for capsule toys and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think a PayPal store has to happen. Even if not a store, just a PayPal backing system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't reach $10 million. Are you just kind of disappointed a bit about that?
Nearly 6.5 million is a great amount. I do wish we hit that 10 million. I know we're wrapping up the show, but I did want to look at what we didn't get, or at least what, we might get it. It might be, 6 months from now, they're like, oh, well, Yu Suzuki got a few more million, so we are getting these things. Or they found out that it's really easy to add a third mini game.
But the problem with development, the way development works, it's never really that, oh, we added more stuff. It's usually we took away stuff.
That's true.
So I'm hoping it works out.
There were battle system expanded. There was ragdoll reaction, AI battling, and high ground battle system. Now, my guess is the ragdoll reaction is because in the original game you'd hit people, and I think they just had kind of a
little animation with
animation falling down. It wasn't really reacting. That would have been cool. It's not necessary. AI battling is interesting. It makes me wonder if it would be AI versus AI, perhaps.
I kind of thought it was like the AI would be smarter. I guess they would spend more time making you could put the difficulty hard, and the AI would be super hard.
True, or it could have been like a training mode. I guess. High ground battle system. I'm not exactly sure what that would be. Maybe it would be like if you're standing higher, if you're like on a box, you win or something.
So it's like, yeah, like I would assume it's like virtual, like the ground level. Like instead of just being in a flat area, there's like actual like like levels to the way you fight. I guess like if you're like in a slope, you hit a little differently or something.
Yeah. There was the Chobu area that took up a lot of tiers from 8 million through to really 9.5. That included mini games times 4. Now, I'm sure we'll still get mini games in that area, but it was greatly expanded.
Yeah, he said there's going to be mini games, but yeah, it's just going to be expanded if they got this high.
Betting games, Kung Fu Mastery. What do you think about that one?
I don't know what that means, so I don't know.
I mean,
does that mean you get more moves?
I guess maybe there's like a tier or a level you reach in your fighting skills where you become a Kung Fu master.
That'd be cool, I guess.
They did not break the 8.8 million for the new Kickstarter record in the general games category. What is the record holder for that? Is this referring to just like any games, like card games and board games?
Yeah, it's a card game. Yeah, it's a card game that won the first one, and it's like a cat card game, and it got it's on the front page when I did the post. It's called Exploding Kittens. I'll show you.
That made over 8.
I'll show you a link.
That's great.
There's a link.
Just goes to show you what the internet cares about.
That's what I was saying. Yu Suzuki should have put a cat simulator inside the game for like 10 million.
That's fucking. Why is this a thing?
Yes, that's what I want to know. This guy's gonna get paid almost $9 million to make cards, but you got to understand, it's the guy from the Oatmeal.
Oh, okay.
That guy's popular as hell.
Yeah. Internet celebrity. All right. The other bits, I'll go through these quickly. We had a part-time job that we didn't get. There were game stalls. I'd assume then that means that there will not be a part-time job in this area and that there won't be game stalls in this area. Game stalls, does that refer to arcade games?
I think that's what it means, yeah. But in the end of the day, you think that like they could just put an emulator and just play like a an old Sega ROM, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
is it really going
And
to cost that much?
Yeah, really. And in those areas, I mean, not to generalize, but isn't it like there are some, it's just like you go in and you play emulators, you pay people to play emulators.
Yeah, and I guess it would be kind of.
'Cause I remember when
there
I
was
went, yeah,
Go on.
I was saying when I was in Southeast Asia, they kind of had that thing where it was like you go to an area and it's like, oh yeah, you pay for internet use, and if you want to play some emulated games, you can pay extra for that.
Yeah, they do that in Mexico a lot too. Like, I guess a lot of poverty places, they like to get the money for free.
Yeah,
But I think it'd be pretty interesting that there's more outdated arcades in these places, so you play like SG 1000 games because they're like poorer neighborhoods.
or it would be funny that they have like a Space Harrier machine, but it's broken because no one can come out and fix it.
Oh, they're just gonna tease people and get them angry.
I know. Let's see. There were also a mini games times 4 for Bailu Village. There was a betting games times 4 for Bailu Village. My question is, though, in the first village, that has a mini games times 5. What I'm wondering is, even though those
why don't
other
they just spread it out?
Yeah, like even if those other villages are not going to have like mini games times 4, they're still going to have some mini games. And I'm wondering if, like, let's say you play Lucky Hit in Baisha Village, and then you don't have Lucky Hit in the Chobu area. Is that really a loss? Like, just go back to the other area and play Lucky Hit. It doesn't need to be in every area.
I agree with you 100%. I think even the arcade stuff, like, I think it's nostalgic, but like at the end of the day, we have the power to just go and play any Sega game ever made emulated.
Yeah.
So do we really need that in the game and pay like $500,000 to get it, programmed?
That's true, because I mean, Shenmue and Shenmue 2 at the time, games were pretty high tech at that point, pretty progressed, but even then it was hard to find those games. I think at the time the only access I had to those games was in Shenmue, but nowadays you can get a 3DS, you can get a home console, you can buy the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection and play all those games. So
what do you think about I was gonna say one more thing. What do you think about the character bust that he has right here?
Oh, right, the character busts. They claim those it's one of the rewards, and they claim that those are from the first game and second game. I think that's
I was
cool.
wondering if they're replicas.
I don't know. I think they're real, but it makes the Indiana Jones in me say, like it belongs in a museum. Like, I don't think you should be giving that stuff away. It's video game history.
But yeah, and then I actually, 2,500 if you were rich is not a bad price at all. You get the jacket, the signed poster, the game with the collector's edition, the trial version, your name in it, and a bunch of other stuff. That's pretty good.
I mean, I don't think I've ever said that the tiers, the higher level tiers, weren't worth the money, because if you're getting pieces of game history, like real things, that's awesome. Though I've been saying, I wish the 100 and I wish the 150 were a bit more, I don't know, generous. Yeah. I was like ecstatic when they announced an $80 reward, because I was like, oh, what do I get? Because I'm at 100, so I get something, right?
And if you look at the backers, a lot of them, the most popular was obviously the $60 tier. I think if they worked on, and the 80-ish. Yeah. So if they worked on a 70, a 90, and and added more stuff, they could have made people go up slowly, and be like, you know what, that's worth $10. You know what, that's worth $10, and then start taking like $30 extra. Yeah.
We also had Kung Fu Mastery again, and then the last one is Magic Maze, which maybe is like Rio discovers Snail Maze from the Master System. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Magic Maze, huh? That's going to be interesting. It never happened, though.
We need to ask him what Magic Maze was.
He needs to. He really should have expanded on each one. I think each one should have had a link you could click on with a video of him literally telling you what each one is.
Yeah. But I mean, again, we've said that that's like a complaint we've had about the campaign, where they'll say part-time job. What's the job? Like, expand on it. Magic Maze, like Magic Eyes.
Yeah. Well, it's already done. It's over.
It's done.
It's happening.
Yep.
$6.3 million.
Not bad. Not bad.
Anything you guys want to say before we take off?
No, but, well, actually, yes. We will be returning sooner than later with a new show. We're going to be doing a interview. More information on that will be shared on our Kickstarter, on our Twitter and Facebook accounts on that upcoming episode. And if you like this Shenmue 3 episode, let us know. I've been thinking it's something we should do as more information comes out for the game. Maybe every month we'll do an episode, or every few months. So, yeah. How about you, George?
Depending on info. And that's it. I don't have anything to say.
All right. Well, let's play some awesome Shenmue music to play us out, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you, everybody.
The SEGAbits Swingin' Report Show is a production of SEGAbits. SEGAbits is a fan site that is not in any way officially affiliated with Sega. Sonic the Hedgehog and all Sega-related trademarks are copyright Sega. All other featured trademarks are the property of their respective owners. Don't forget to check out SEGAbits.com, and you can find us on all major social networks. Just search SEGAbits.